Donald Trump versus Jerome Powell, a battle over the truth about the economy. Just days ago, Donald Trump had what can only be described as a public meltdown following comments from Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, the very man Trump appointed during his first term. Powell recently raised serious concerns about the direction of the U.S. economy, sounding multiple alarm bells over its performance and future outlook. According to Powell, much of the current economic instability can be traced back to Trump's policies and his fundamental misunderstanding of economic principles. Trump didn't take the criticism lightly. He lashed out at Powell on Truth Social, blaming him for refusing to cut interest rates, something Trump has been aggressively demanding since returning to office. However, Powell held firm. Cutting interest rates right now, as Trump wants, would be a dangerous move. It could trigger hyperinflation and potentially collapse the economy, which is exactly why the Biden administration and Powell worked to raise rates during inflationary periods, not lower them. The reason is simple economics. When interest rates go up, borrowing becomes more expensive. That leads to reduced spending on major purchases, which cools inflation. Lowering rates has the opposite effect. Borrowing increases, spending rises, and inflation typically spikes. So Trump pushing for rate cuts at this moment is not only reckless, it's a recipe for economic disaster. This week, Powell made a cautious announcement. The Fed will keep interest rates steady. No hikes, but no cuts either. Trump erupted in response, calling Powell a fool who doesn't have a clue, before bizarrely adding, "Other than that, I like him very much." Classic Trump. Insult, deflect, and confuse. He went on to claim that oil and energy prices are down, grocery and egg prices have dropped, inflation is virtually non-existent, and tariffs are bringing in big money for the U.S. All of this is false. Let's break it down. Oil and gas prices. Yes, they're lower right now, but that's due to a seasonal dip. We're not in a heavy travel period yet. Historically, prices always rise during summer vacation season, starting in late May when schools let out. Expect prices to go up soon. It's predictable and has nothing to do with Trump. Grocery and egg prices. Trump is wrong here too. Prices are still elevated compared to last year. While they've come down from early 2024 highs, they're nowhere near what they were a year ago. Eggs are still more expensive than last March. Overall, your dollar buys less at the store today, not more. Inflation. Contrary to Trump's claims, inflation hasn't disappeared. It's increasing again, which is why prices are going up. Saying there's no inflation while prices rise is simply dishonest. Now, let's revisit what Jerome Powell actually said that got Trump so worked up. If the large increases in tariffs that have been announced are sustained, they're likely to generate a rise in inflation, a slowdown in economic growth, and an increase in unemployment. These effects could be short-lived, but they could also be more persistent, depending on how quickly the tariffs impact prices and how well inflation expectations remain anchored. Powell didn't mince words. He directly warned that Trump's tariff-heavy approach, a signature policy from his first term, could destabilize the economy. The effects, Powell warned, might not be temporary. And here's the bigger problem. Trump either doesn't understand Powell's warning, or he chooses to ignore it. He continues to lie about tariffs, lie about trade deals, and lie about the economy's performance. Whether he believes those lies or not no longer matters. What matters is that he's governing based on those lies, and it's costing the American people. His delusions and misinformation are actively harming the economy. He's telling you supply shortages are good, that inflation doesn't exist, and that everything is just fine, even when your wallet says otherwise. Meanwhile, Powell, the country's top economic official, is practically begging him to stop before lasting damage is done. And what does Trump say in response? Jerome Powell is a fool, but I like him very much. The joke's on us, unless we stop pretending this is normal.